Before we begin, I want to ask you something simple. Simple, but serious. How do you start your day? I don't mean the rush to check your phone, the noise of the world pulling you in 100 directions, or the weight of expectations crashing down before your feet even hit the floor. I mean, how do you really start? With intention? With purpose? With a mindset that's worthy of the life you say you want to build? Because here's the truth. The way you begin your morning will shape your entire day. And the way you shape your days, that's how you shape your destiny. You can't keep waiting for life to get easier. You can't keep hitting snooze on your own potential. And you certainly can't build a legacy with a mindset still stuck in yesterday's fear. This isn't just another motivational speech. This is a reminder, a reset. A call to rise before the world tells you who you're supposed to be. Listen carefully, not just with your ears, but with your intention. Let this message echo in your thoughts every morning. Let it interrupt the doubts. Let it remind you that you are not here to live a small life. You are here to lead, to grow, to thrive, and to do it with grace, strength, and relentless clarity. So wherever you are right now, sit with this, lean in. Because the next few minutes aren't just about inspiration, they're about transformation. And if you let these words in, if you really let them in, you won't wake up the same tomorrow. Let's begin. Every day you wake up, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads you to drift, responding, reacting, and hoping something good comes along. The other path leads you to intentionally take the day in your hands and shape it. And the truth is, most people choose the first path. They roll out of bed already feeling behind, already distracted, already pulled into the noise of what the world wants from them. But if you're listening to this right now, you're not most people. You're here because somewhere deep inside, you know that how you start your day determines how you own your life. Mornings aren't just routine. They are the single most powerful opportunity you have to take control. When the world is still quiet, when the distractions haven't yet crept in, that's the moment to ground yourself in your purpose. It's not about having a perfect morning routine with 10 steps and a checklist you can post online. It's about something deeper. It's about setting your internal compass. Because when you don't start with intention, you allow the day to pull you in 1,000 directions that serve everyone but you. You have to wake up with fire in your soul. Not because you're chasing something, but because you're building something. And what you're building can't be constructed with half energy, scattered thoughts, or passive action. It requires a solid foundation, and that foundation begins the second your eyes open. The moment you decide to begin your day with intention, you've already won. Because while others are reacting, you're creating. While others are hesitating, you're aligning. While others are still wondering if they should try, you've already begun. This isn't about motivation that fades when the coffee wears off. It's about wiring your mindset to lead your day instead of being led by it. And that starts by asking yourself the hard but necessary questions each morning. What matters most to me today? What version of myself do I want to show up as? What noise do I need to silence, and what truth do I need to listen to? When you ask the right questions, your focus sharpens. And with sharp focus comes bold direction. You stop wandering. You stop questioning. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. And here's something else. Intention fuels resilience. Because no matter how much pressure or chaos the day throws at you, if you've anchored your purpose early on, you don't get knocked off course so easily. You're not emotionally hijacked by every challenge. You're not shaken by other people's urgency or opinions. You operate from clarity, and that clarity makes you powerful. And being powerful isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being the calmest, the most grounded, the most certain. That's what intention gives you. It gives you certainty in a world that's constantly shifting. We all get the same 24 hours. What separates the fulfilled from the frustrated isn't more time. It's how they begin. The most successful people don't leave their mornings to chance. They don't scroll through distractions or drown in the weight of what's ahead. They pause. They breathe. They choose. And you can too. You don't have to wait for the right mood, the right conditions, or someone else's permission. You just have to decide that this morning, like every morning, is yours to lead. And yes, life gets messy. There will be setbacks. There will be days you feel off, but intention isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Present with your values, your goals, your growth. Growth. Present enough to say, even if today doesn't go how I planned, I'll still own how I respond. That level of awareness, that's what makes you unstoppable over time. It's not about huge wins every day. It's about small, intentional choices stacked daily that turn into unstoppable momentum. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't reach for your phone first. Don't rush into the chaos. Take a moment to own your breath, own your thoughts, own your energy. Ask yourself, what kind of leader do I want to be today? In my life, in my work, in my home, in my mind. And then act like it. Move like it. Speak like it. Show up like it. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who are rooted in something real. Let that be you. It's not about how early you wake up. It's about how clearly you begin. There's something most people underestimate, and it's not talent, it's not opportunity, and it's not even discipline. It's self-talk, that quiet voice in your head. What you say to yourself when no one's watching is more powerful than any external motivation in the world. Because long before you take action, long before you speak to others, you've already had a conversation with yourself, and that conversation either builds you or breaks you. Too often, we speak to ourselves with a tone we would never use on someone we love. We talk ourselves down. We doubt our own strength. We replay our mistakes like they define us. And what happens? We start living in a narrative we never chose. We begin the day already feeling behind, already feeling like we're not enough. But here's the truth. Your mind listens to everything you say. It believes your words. So if you want to step into your potential, you need to change the way you speak to yourself. Every morning, before the world tells you who you're not, remind yourself who you are. You are not your failures. You are not your insecurities. You are not the version of yourself that made mistakes in the past. You are capable. You are here for a reason. You are still becoming. And that journey deserves language that empowers, not language that weakens. We've been conditioned to think confidence comes from results. But real confidence starts from belief. Belief that you can learn, grow, evolve. And belief isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you train. You train it every morning when you choose to silence the voice of doubt and speak with strength, clarity, and truth. You train it when you say to yourself, I don't have to feel ready. I just have to begin. You train it when you whisper to yourself, I've been through worse, and I'm still standing. This is not about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything's perfect when it's not. It's about choosing to speak to yourself with respect, even in your hardest moments. It's about telling yourself the truth, that you are resilient, that you are resourceful, and that you're not done yet. 10. Because the way you speak to yourself in the morning sets the tone for how you show up the rest of the day. If your inner dialogue is weak, your outer actions will be hesitant. But if your self-talk is grounded in strength, your actions reflect power. You don't rise by accident. You rise because your thoughts rise first. Your voice, the one inside, is your most loyal companion. So train it, shape it, protect it. Make sure it serves you. Make sure it sounds like the leader you're becoming. When you catch yourself thinking small, shift. When you hear yourself feeding fear, stop feeding fear. Stop. Replace it. Because the mind is like a garden. If you don't plant something intentional, the weeds of doubt and fear will grow by default. And when you begin each day this way, when you step into your morning with words of strength and certainty, something shifts inside you. You start making decisions faster. You carry yourself differently. You stop asking for permission. You stop playing small just to make others comfortable, because you've already spoken the words you needed to hear. You've already grounded yourself in belief. That's where momentum begins. Not in loud declarations to the world, but in quiet declarations to yourself. In choosing to believe that no matter what comes your way, you'll figure it out. In reminding yourself that even if you don't know what the future holds, you trust yourself enough to walk into it. That mindset, that self-talk, is not just a habit. It's a weapon. When you learn how to use it, you become unstoppable. Every morning is an invitation to begin again, to recommit to your potential. So take it. Don't wait for someone else to validate you. Don't wait for proof. Proof. Speak like someone who knows they're building something incredible, even if no one else sees it yet. Speak like someone who understands that leadership starts in the mirror. Because when you talk to yourself like a leader, you begin to move like one knucklehead, easy to dream big. It's even easier to talk about what we want, what we're going to do one day, what goals we've set, how we're going to change everything. But the truth is, dreams mean nothing without aligned action. Vision, on its own, doesn't build anything. It's the consistent daily behaviors, the choices no one sees, that determine whether that vision becomes your reality or remains just a hope. Every single day, you are either getting closer to the life you say you want, or you're drifting further from it. There's no neutral, there's no standing still. And it doesn't matter how inspired you feel or how loud your ambition sounds if your actions aren't aligned with that vision. So ask yourself honestly, do your habits reflect your goals? Or are your actions betraying the very things you say matter most? We don't get to have both comfort and greatness. We don't get to wish for more and then spend our days avoiding the hard things. That tension between who you are and who you want to be, it's resolved only by how you act. Not once in a while, not when it's easy, but consistently, especially when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, and uncertain, because that's where real progress lives. Alignment is about living in integrity with your values. It's about making choices from a place of clarity, not convenience. You can't say you want to be healthy and hit snooze every morning instead of moving your body. You can't say you want financial freedom and spend impulsively to escape discomfort. You can't say you want to lead and then avoid responsibility and then avoid responsibility. That gap between what we say and what we do, it's where frustration and regret are born. But the opposite is also true. When your actions begin to align with your highest vision, your confidence grows. You start trusting yourself. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, someone who's capable, someone who doesn't wait for perfect conditions. You realize you're not powerless. You're just one choice away from shifting everything. And those choices aren't always dramatic. Sometimes it's deciding to make that call. Sometimes it's choosing the workout over the excuse. Sometimes it's staying focused when it would be easier to scroll, or showing up fully when it would be easier to hide. The small decisions you make repeatedly, those are the bricks that build the future. It's not the big, flashy moves. It's the quiet, deliberate consistency that no one applauds but you still commit to. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect. And when you begin your mornings with intention and follow it with aligned action, something incredible happens. You stop waiting for motivation. You start becoming the kind of person who creates their own momentum. And yes, it's hard. Yes, you'll be tired some days. Yes, you'll face resistance, both from within and from the world around you. But aligned action isn't about what you feel. It's about what you've committed to. Success doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's necessary. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when no one's watching. Especially then. Because those are the moments that shape your identity. And once you shift your identity, your results follow. You stop trying to achieve success and start living as someone who's already in alignment with it. And here's the thing, alignment isn't about perfection. You'll mess up, you'll miss a step. That's not failure, that's part of it. What matters is that you don't stay misaligned. You catch it, you recalibrate, you recommit. That's the difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's the willingness to keep coming back to what matters, to keep showing up with integrity when it's tempting to drift. So tomorrow, when you wake up with a goal in mind, don't just think about it. Honor it with action. If you say you want to be stronger, act like someone who trains. If you say you want peace, act like someone who protects their energy. If you say you want to lead, act like someone who serves. Let your behavior reflect the future you're building, not the fears you're escaping. Let your choices speak louder than your words. Because nothing will ever change until your actions change first. When you wake up each morning, there's a moment before the notifications, before the headlines, before the responsibilities, where everything is still. In that silence, you have a choice. You can rush into the day carrying yesterday's stress, reacting to everything that demands your attention, or you can choose something far more powerful. You can choose to begin with gratitude. You can choose to anchor yourself in the one thing that recenters you before the world tries to scatter your focus. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice. It's a discipline. It's the foundation of a resilient mindset. When you take a moment every morning to appreciate what's already present in your life, your breath, your health, your lessons, your growth, you shift your perspective, and perspective changes everything. Because when you're rooted in appreciation, you stop chasing validation. You stop comparing. You stop obsessing over what's missing and start showing up for what's already here. So many people wait for big moments to be thankful. They wait for the job, the recognition, the milestone. But those who are truly grounded, those who lead themselves with intention, understand that gratitude isn't about outcomes. It's about presence. It's about recognizing the beauty in the struggle, the strength in the setback, the wisdom in the waiting. It's about seeing value in today, even if it doesn't look like what you imagined. When you begin your day in this state of awareness, your energy shifts. You stop reacting emotionally to small inconveniences. You stop letting one negative moment derail your entire focus. Instead, you move from a place of grounded strength. That strength doesn't scream. It doesn't need attention. It just shows up consistently with calm conviction. And that quiet strength is often more powerful than any loud reaction. Gratitude softens you, but it also strengthens you. It humbles you while reminding you just how capable you are. It pulls you out of lack and into abundance. And when you're in that space, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you don't just experience life, you expand within it. That expansion is what gives you the capacity to grow. Because gratitude on its own is beautiful, but gratitude paired with a commitment to growth, that's transformation. That's where evolution begins. Every morning after you've rooted yourself in appreciation, ask, what am I becoming? Who am I shaping myself into today? What lesson can I lean into? What challenge can I rise to meet? Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens through intention, through action, and through a deep desire to keep showing up. Not just for your goals, but for your growth within them. The most successful people aren't obsessed with arriving somewhere. They're obsessed with evolving. They understand that every morning is an opportunity to sharpen their vision, to raise their standards, to lead with more clarity and more heart. They're not chasing perfection, they're chasing progress. And progress, real progress, only happens when you show up for both your blessings and your blind spots. When you look at your life with gratitude and still have the courage to say, I can do more, I can be more. Growth requires that kind of honesty. It asks you to look at where you've been, appreciate it, and then choose not to stay there. It asks you to embrace discomfort, not as something to fear, but as a signal that you're stretching, that you're moving, that you're alive. Because the people who grow aren't the ones who avoid struggle. They're the ones who use it, who let the challenge deepen their character and sharpen their perspective. And the truth is, you can be both grateful and hungry. You can appreciate where you are and still want more. You can love yourself and still push yourself. This is the balance that builds unstoppable momentum. You stop fighting where you are and instead start fueling where you're going. When you begin each day from that place, deep appreciation and deep commitment, you stop running in circles. You move with intention. You lead yourself forward with clarity. You begin to embody the version of you that doesn't just hope for success, but lives in alignment with it. And slowly, your mornings stop feeling like a race. They start becoming sacred. A time to ground, to rise, to reconnect to the highest version of you, not the rushed, distracted, half-present version, but the one who's rooted in purpose, present in gratitude, and focused on growth. So tomorrow when you wake up, don't just dive into the noise. Take the time to thank yourself for showing up. Thank your journey for shaping you. And then ask, what can I build today that my future self will thank me for? That's how you rise, with grace, with gratitude, and with growth woven into every step.